Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2 between Bait and PuckChamp, the Dota 2 Champions League 2021. We saw Bait, they got handled in that first game. Just PuckChamp just really wrecked them all over the place. Like, the start was fine for Bait, but they didn't really have any sort of like team cohesion. They weren't really working as a unit, and they just sort of crumbled at the seams. Hopefully they might have rallied and maybe given some like big inspirational speech for their second game. Maybe they might just give Dendy Pudge. Who knows? Maybe they have to. We'll have to wait and see. They've got to bring something else to the table because they can't just have another game like that one. It was yeah. Cause I think they really need some points on the board. Like, they haven't had that many decent wins yet. So the only people they beat so far, I think, was QWERTY, and they themselves have been getting wrecked as well left, right, and centre. So it's not really that much to pat themselves on the back for. The PuckChamp this time deciding to ban out the Keeper of the Light because they don't have first pick, so they don't want to let Bait get the hero instead. Very evil way of doing the game, but hey, it makes sense. But instead, Bait are actually to go with the Shadow Demon first pick. So I guess this is going to be going back into the hands of SA. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it made sense when they were picking it after the Luna, because it's always a pretty decent combo. It seems good, but I don't know. Very early Shadow Demon pickup. I mean, it's always a strong position for no matter what. Gives a good amount of save, can screw over a lot of people, pump out a fair bit of damage as well. And then PuckChamp respond by picking up the Tide and the Lion. So that is their offlane combo already set up. The Tide, obviously one of the most fantastic heroes at engaging, disengaging, re-engaging from team fights. Just jump in with that big old Ravage, just fuck everybody up, and really throw some spanners down the work. So they're going to have to maybe try and play around that a little bit. I mean, they could potentially just grab a Rubik right now. Or maybe they could wait. I'm pretty sure that someone should be able to play Rubik. We're already Ravage to Steal, plus Impale, plus Finger. All really strong skills on the board there already. So maybe they might wait for the second phase worth of pickings. Maybe like their fourth hero pickup. That would make more sense. Instead, they're going to go for the Sven pickup now. So that's going to be for Watson's position 1. We saw it roll around on Crit in the previous game, and he just made it look so goddamn easy. But hopefully Bait can make it look just as good. Obviously, it doesn't quite all work out that way. I think it just comes down to Dendy needed to do a little bit more off that mid. Like, he had a good start. He even got a free kill onto the Sand King, but he just sort of really slowed down. Like, he got his Orchid Malevolence online after the enemy position for Kotl. Like, that's not good. That is not good. I mean, sure, Kotl's a fast farmer, but should never be able to outpace a farmer with an opposing mid lane hero. So Bait taking away the Slarks, they're just going to focus all their hatred towards those sort of position 1 carries, which are pretty effective against the Sven. PuckChamp taking away the Omni-Knight, just in case they get that sort of big strength buffing combination with the Sven. Never want to let that just fall away for free. Maybe they might ban out some more heroes towards Dendy. Or maybe they just don't even care. Like in the previous game, I don't think they banned a single mid lane hero against him. Just sad to see. When Dendy back in the day was an actual powerhouse, man was to be feared. I guess not anymore. It's a sad day for Dota boys. Sad day. Well, actually, I suppose it's been a long time. It's been, what, has it been a year and a half, 2 years since he started Bait? I think it's 2 years now, isn't it? Hang on, let me check. I'm pretty sure it's been... I think it's just 2 years now. When was it? What it's saying is it was founded before the International 2011. So I guess the very start of 2012 then? Yeah, the 27th of January 2012. So, I mean, it's been It's been like a year and 3/4, so... And they've still not really had any success. Poor Dendy. He's trying to climb back, but it's just not happening. They also banned out the Bat Rider, and PuckChamp take away the Night Stalker, just in case the Bay wanted to roll with that one again. Wasn't really able to do that much in the previous game, but it's really because his 2 cores weren't able to pump out any damage. They were just getting handled too easily by the Void Spirit Sven combo. Just no one could actually stay alive long enough to hurt anybody. They're really thinking about what it is they want to ban now. Maybe they should get rid of the Void Spirit again. Like, Young G was just absolutely crushing it on that hero in the previous game. His end score was like 13-0-6, something like that. Just, there was nothing they could do to stop him. I think they might just be considering it now. Like, they're already down to 30 seconds of reserve time for the second phase bans. Meanwhile, PuckChamp have only tickled their own. I think a Void Spirit ban would be pretty suitable. No, decide to get rid of the Bloodseeker instead. I mean, that can be quite a hindrance for the Sven, limits his maneuverability, but sometimes the Sven doesn't need to really have to have super high mobility. Sometimes he can just stay in one focused area and just pump out a lot of damage. No, still, they fear the hero, they get rid of it, they ban what they want. So what's going to be the final ban here for PuckChamp? They're going to focus it towards like the offlane again, on the supports maybe. Ban out the Magnus. I mean, actually, when was the last time I saw a Magnus? It was such long ago. Hero just never appears. They decided to get rid of the Brewmaster instead and pick up the Vengeful Spirit once more for Takalis. So they got exactly the same Pos 5. I was going to say this. They got exactly the same support pairing, but I'd be wrong. I'd be very wrong. Because there was no line in the last game. No, neither team had a line. I don't know where I'm thinking the line. There was a lot of lines in the previous series that I cast, but none so far in this one. So now Bait got the double pick to go with. Probably their off lane and support combo, but they don't have much time to work with. Like, already down to 10 seconds of reserve time. That's pretty rough. And they're going to go with an Undying. Okay. So obviously an Undying is always going to be pretty effective against the Tidehunter. The Decay reducing his HP as well as his attack damage. Just a nice little way of securing the lane a bit more for the Sven. Obviously doesn't have as big of an impact against the Lion, but even still, once he gets a couple of Decay stacks online, the right clicks of the Undying just hurt way too much. The Lion just have to spend the entire time running away from him. So it's a good lane securer for sure. They actually decided to grab the Void Spirit themselves. Okay, so is this going to be... Is this a Dendy Void Spirit? Or is this Void Spirit for the position 3? This man. I don't know. I don't know if there's like an English equivalent to his name. And I have absolutely zero idea on how you're supposed to phonetically pronounce this name. So I just have to refer to him with whatever heroes he's playing at the time. Which is bad, but hey, you know, I have no other choice. I have no other choice. Don't blame me, boys. Blame the game. Blame the player. Always blame the player. That's good. So we're back here from PuckChamp. Actually going to go for the Doozer right now. So it is a hero that can play up against the Sven quite effectively. But obviously it takes a little bit of time before the Medusa's actually able to come online and become effective. But I mean, her timing isn't as bad as it once was. Like, there was a point in Dota where a Medusa could literally not do anything until like the 35-40 minute mark, when she actually had like 3-4 items online. Now she needs probably about, I'd say 2, and she can actually help out. She can be effective in the fights. So yeah, we'll see how it ends up rolling. Whether she'll go for like the standard, like the Ags build, or maybe just go for something else. We'll have to wait and see. But the Ags would be pretty decent actually to get like an extra connection for the Void Spirit, and then allow the Lion and the Venge to just dump all of their CC on top of him and net the kill. Could be what they're thinking. And now Bait just going to be targeting opposing mid laners, taking away the Ember as well as the Invoker, and PuckChamp just focusing towards off laners now. So they remove the Mars. Probably want to remove, some more like AoE based offlane heroes, take away the Darkseer. Obviously, vacuum into Sven is always a disgusting combo. But, I mean, they've still got the opportunity. They could go for a Magnus. It does relatively the same thing, just in ultimate format. But then, I don't think with this sort of lineup from PuckChamp that it's going to be an opportunity where you get like a big RP onto Medusa and a lot of other players. Like the Tide Hunter will probably always be off to the side unless he's already engaged. So, to allow him to actually get a decent Ravage. They are going to go for the Viper instead. Okay, so they could maybe actually swap their lanes around now. Like if they want to use this as an offlane Viper, they could maybe put the Viper and the Shadow Demon in the safe lane, and then make the Sven Undying go into the off lane. And they'll be up against the Medusa Venge combo, which actually isn't that as good for the Undying. Unless maybe you leave the Undying up top. So you do Viper Undying safe lane up against the Tide Lion, and then you have Sven Shadow Demon versus Venge Medusa. I don't know, even that doesn't sound too great. The Sword Spirit's the final grab there from PuckChamp. So I've got a decent amount of reach, can get on top of like the Shadow Demon and the Undying relatively easily. And, I mean, the only thing really on the side of Bait is that they haven't got a great amount of like stuns and disables. Like they've got Stormhammer from the Sven, and then they have like Disruption set up for the Void Spirit Ether Remnant. But then that is literally it. The only other thing they've got after that is like the slow from the Viper Strike, which isn't really that great to fall back on. Meanwhile, on the side of PuckChamp, they've got Earth Spike, they've got Hex, they've got Magic Missile, they've got Electric Vortex, they've got Ravage. So many ways to just completely hinder the maneuverability of Bait in this game. Yeah, I'm quite liking PuckChamp's lineup here. Oh, it's actually okay. No, they're actually putting Dendi on the Viper for the mid, playing up against Young G Storm Spirit. Okay. So then I'm not sure how Void Spirit Shadow Demon combo is going to fare up against Medusa Venge. I mean, they can do a fair amount of damage. Obviously, again, you got the disruption into the Ether Remnant setup. So they could probably set up for a couple of easy kills onto Zakalis. Say if SA's got like 2 Shadow Poison stacks onto the Venge, you would use Disruption. With Ether Remnant comes in, allows you to get like an extra couple of points of the Shadow Poison on top of her, and that's pretty much going to be a guaranteed kill. Even to some degree, you could do the same tactic onto Crit, but it's a little bit more difficult. She is a bit more tanky than what a Venge is, so you have to try and probably whittle her down to begin with. But then you've also got to be careful that there could just be a 20 stick charge pop coming out and just turn her all around, so it's risky. But yeah, I quite like that. I quite like their offlane. It should be good. I don't think there's too much that PuckChamp's offlane can do to threaten the Sven Undying combo. But the Undying's going to make the lane for the Tide kind of miserable. Not super bad, but not as nice as it could be. PuckChamp once again going for this quick smoke play. No one actually gets that far out the base. Like Gatsy already in the mid. Well, obviously he did start immediately up with the brown boots. And it's kind of weird to see. I don't know. I was gonna say it's weird to see Pos 5 good strength with brown boots, but then again, it is Undying. You just want to be able to like steal some strength, get on top of people really quickly, and then just bully them out with your superior right-click damage. So, no, okay, the brown boots definitely make sense. Whole point of that one. Dendi going obviously first time with the ball. I would have thought he probably would have started off with like an extra mango, in my opinion. Because obviously the early parts, the poison attack spam is what zones the other player out a fair amount. But then you don't really want to be doing that until it's at least level 2. And then I suppose by the time you're level 2, you'll most level 3, sorry, you'll most likely have enough gold just to buy your bottle anyway. But then obviously the bottle, I don't know. Yeah, it could be good. Well, the bottle charge gives you 60 mana. Mango gives you 100. It's only slightly outbalanced.
The quest for ultimate glory continues.
Once again, both teams just sort of hold in their own area. Nobody wants to go playing too aggressively. I mean, I say that, and Watson's just doing his own thing. Obviously just trying to see if they've got a ward there, but it's not going to drag the aggro from the tower at all.
30 seconds to battle. We may ravaged.
He's just waited to see if anyone does pop the ward down. You can get that easy info then. That's not going to happen. Even both wards actually just get committed to this like little area. There's a lot of superior vision for the side of PuckChamp over here. But no one from Bates is going to walk up into it.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's go down.
Can't remember the last time that I saw an uneven balance of bounty rune trades at the start of the game. It's just always 2 for 2. No one ever really bothers going for them anymore, like trying to contest them. I mean, sure, it's pretty negligible amount of gold. 40 per player. It's like less than half a stack of tangos. But I mean, really, it's actually equivalent to 1 melee creep CS for every player.
A doodle for the ages.
And then also actually, because it's not just the fact that each player is getting 40 gold, but it then takes that 40 gold away from the opposing squad. So really, it ends up changing the gold balance by 400, which is pretty decent actually, when you consider it that way.
Normally.
There we go. Hopefully. I think it was Dendi was getting Packy loss, wasn't he? Yeah. Packy loss for Dendos. I guess PuckChamp are actually chilling out now. Okay, yeah, okay, now they said go. Alright.
The true heroes are the ones who wait all the way.
Gatsy drops down the sentry wall to block the camp. Unfortunately for him, Astral was already there to quickly get the deny onto it. So still going to be able to get the farm there for Young G. Then they already just force a Young G all the way back to his tower. Just the power of the Viper. Easily able to bully people away. And just secure all that like early CS and early denies for yourself. But it is obviously very mana intensive to do all this. Which is kind of the reason why I thought he would have started off 1 extra mango. Ooh, just misses a free CS as well. Whoopsie daisy. Still pushing him back so far. Meanwhile, actually, first blood gets found in the bot lane. Gatsy finds it with the help of Watson. And they take down the Lion. I guess Gatsy, yeah, 12 stacks, 12 plus bonus strength, hitting for 73 with the help from the Sven as well. It's quite a lot of overwhelming damage to deal with. And there's not too much that a level 1 Tide can do to alleviate any pressure onto his support. You can just all just like waddle up to him and say, hey, don't hit him, hit me instead. That's probably won't happen very often. People would much rather go for the easy kill. Actually, so far, Crit, suffering for his CS himself, just got 3-0 right now. As long as if he gets all of these CS, he might be alright. He goes for the deny rather than the last hit. Fair enough. Okay, that's not too bad. Bounces out quite quickly. But even still, the Void managing to get the drag of the creeps all the way back just to the outside of his tier 1 tower. And even the range creep dies before a crit was in range to get the experience for it. So already this lane's a little bit upset here for PuckChamp. I think that creep stack was actually interrupted a little bit. Still, 10-0 to Young G to the 9-7 of Dendi. Man's just really bossing the denies this game. And Young G already out of bottle charges, and he has to TP back to base. He's got now he has to walk all the way back to lane before even having brown boots. That's going to hinder his farm so massively. And meanwhile, I'm talking about that. Melee dies down bottom first. Astral does get the return kill there onto Gatsy. But even still, Watson, if he can get... Oh, what? He turned around. Why did he turn around? He could have found that kill. He could have easily found that kill. His base movement speed was like 35 higher than line as well. He would have been able to run him down. I don't know why he turned around there. It's really confusing. Oh, well.
Normally.
But yeah, as I was saying, just like Dendi is actually off to a fantastic start in this second game. He's basically a half of a level over the top of the Storm Spirit already, and the Storm's going to miss out on basically an entire wave here, as I'm sure Dendi's going to deny the majority of them before Young G can actually come back into it. They immediately go from both squads. We've had enough pauses today, man. So many pauses. You having just to settle for a single stack on the creeps as well. I mean, how much is actually this transmuting in terms of net worth? 1680 there for the Viper to only the 1250 of the Storm. So pretty much 500 gold separating them at 3.5 minutes in. That's a big chunk. Let's see, 300 gold. Doesn't sound like much, but gold has like some serious inflation to it, like the longer the game goes on. Maybe getting gold on here from Melez. Watson pops the God Strength to give him some bit of protection. Even the Tombstone gets dropped. They're going to change their focus onto Astral. He has his Hex to keep him alive for now, but it doesn't matter. Another use of the Decay. It's enough damage. Astral falls. Watson even getting the last hit as well. This off lane for PuckChamp is not going the way they would want to in this one. Really getting hindered quite badly. Moving up top, at least Crit, he's... not like happily. He's doing alright actually. He's pretty much equal to the Sven still. Only 2 CS separating him, which ain't too bad. Actually, it does transmute to roughly about 300 gold. Maybe that's not like it's insurmountable or anything. I mean, the one good thing is that the Void and the Shadow Demon can't really pressure him out too much. It's just Ducalis has to worry about his positioning. He is the one that could probably easily die in this situation. Oh. Very aggressively used Dissimulate there, pushing himself back in, but PuckChamp weren't actually ready to try and go for like a quick grab. SA though, with this little wraparound, he does spot Young G, so moving up into the high ground. I think he could probably take him. He's got 2 points into the Shadow Poison. SA, if he used this stick and disruption, he probably would be able to get an extra hit of the Shadow Poison there. Oh, he actually gets the connection anyway. Hits him with 4. Which obviously makes Young G use more of his bottle recharges just for the HP. I mean, Young G is pretty much jungling already. He's only just hit his 5. Meanwhile, Dendi is just halfway through his 6. Happily just to take down the entire creep wave. I mean, this is a catapult wave as well. Young G has to show his face, otherwise this tower is going to take one hell of a beating. They cannot afford just to sign this tower away so quickly. Even both the supports actually from B8 have rotated in here to try and capitalize on this. Astral delaying out a little bit. But Dendi is just going to use his the glyph aggressively as well as the Never Toxin just to burn down the creep wave as fast as possible. They want to get the most use out of this catapult as they possibly can. So Ducalis was coming in from the side, but SA cut him off. Young G, at least he's actually able to get the bottled illusion rune at the bot, but it doesn't actually end up helping him too badly. Gats even drops the tombstone right by the tower. So he just really wants to give this catapult as much defense as he possibly can. But the tombstone just ends up dying away, gives 150 gold over towards Ducalis. And that will be the catapult at long last dying. But look at the damage it was able to do. Over half the HP gone at 6.5 minutes. And Dendi just hit his 7. Young G, he might just about hit his 6 after this wave. No, he's still going to be shy of it. Needs a couple more melee creeps. Meanwhile, Watson as well sat himself quite comfortably at the top of the CS chart. A full 600 gold over the top of the counterpart of the Medusa. So this game going swimmingly better for Bait. Ducalis actually making stacks as well. I guess that would be quite useful for the Medusa, but it just depends if he is actually the one to get it. I mean, it's kind of difficult actually for a Void Spirit this early on to get that CS. Oh, we tried to dodge it, but he didn't even end up doing that. Ends up just wasting his mana, really. D2CL just going to get the cheeky pull off.
Чел, ты вообще тут?
Well, what is actually the first time going to be coming out here for Dendi? He has just finished up his power treads. So not like the standard mid lane hero build of going straight in for the bots at all. And Void just getting harassed a little bit from D2CL as well as Crit. But so D2CL, he's going to be the one that ends up dying here. Definitely a happy trade for him. He'd rather sacrifice his own life than risk Crit falling down. Maybe Dendi should actually try and help out and push this tier 1 now at the top.
Regeneration.
Yeah, he is going to turn around. This is going to be the next focus, I think. Just making sure he farms up at the same time. Doesn't want to have too much downtime. Carry on progressing his farm as much as he possibly can. Mele's still working towards the Hood of Defiance. Not far off it, actually. Actually, he has enough gold in, well, now. So he can buy it. That's going to give him a nice chunk of survivability, especially when Dendi comes to knocking and eventually starts harassing out the tide. Doesn't do much against the Sven, though. Not much at all.
Dire should look to their top tower.
So this tower will eventually go down. Still needs one extra creep wave here for Dendi before he's can actually effectively take it. But it still will fall. Yo, Astral Mele's still hanging about the bot. Maybe they want to try and pressure out this tier 1 themselves. I mean, Finger is actually available, so they could try and make a move onto Gatsy if they can. But it's a hard kill to find. He's already got 12 stacks of strength on him. 1200 HP. Very tanky man. Young G was just trying to take out some of the creeps on the side of Bait. Oh, the jump forward is there. The Void. It's never really gonna work out. You'd have to get like the perfectly... You'd have to basically Astral Step right next to him and do a point blank Ether Remnant. It's the only way you're going to get a grab like that onto a Storm Spirit before you get a Yule Scepter online. And Yule's is coming out. And it's the farm of Young G is so bad this game. I mean, it's not his fault. He's just really screwed over. Actually go for a jump forward here onto Dendi. There is going to be disruption to late side a little bit. Doesn't matter. The follow-up CC is so much of it. The Finger comes out and they do it. They take down Dendi. And now maybe the response from Gatsy. Astral's going to end up just dying to the zombies alone. D2CL will probably end up falling here as well. So it will be a 2-for-1 trade. Kill even getting over towards Watson there. I'm not quite sure who that favors. Actually, I think with this tier 1 tower falling as well, I think B8 are probably happy with that. Yeah, let's take down the tier 1. I mean, there was actually the tip onto SA as well from Melez, where I think he's probably should have used the disruption onto the Viper rather than the Storm Spirit. But even still, these things happen. It still ended up working out in the end, so you can't complain too much. So Sven comfortably at the top of the net worth right now. 1,000 gold over the top of the Medusa. And what's he actually building into? He's got his Echo going in for the Sunj and the Asher builds. Nothing too out of the ordinary. I mean, despite that, again, Dendi had a really fucking nice lane. He bullied the hell out of Young G. He's second lowest net worth of all the cores. How does this keep happening? I don't understand. He's only died once. He's got 1 kill, 2 assists as well. A dump load of CS. Well, actually, CS isn't that great. I thought it was considerably better than this. What happened? I have no idea. Dendi's farm just disappears for no apparent reason. I'm just very confused. I mean, there was actually a massive amount of time where he was up top pushing the tier 1 tower. It was like probably about a minute and a half. So that could actually be the reason about why he has fallen behind this much. Oh, the Hex initiation there onto Astral. The follow-up stun into the Vortex. And that's just the freest kill of Young G's life. With the assist and some with double damage as well. Lovely pickup. Yeah, Young Chi actually has now overtaken Dendi, despite how badly he got dicked in the lane. Doesn't even matter. Looks like Young Chi actually going for first item of the Kaya, which is quite interesting.
That's exact.
Normally you see people go in for like the Orchid as the first item build, something like that, but no, they're going straight in for the Kaya Sanj build. Gives them a bit of survivability. Ooh, meanwhile, down bottom, Crit. What is he doing here? He does get the Stone Gaze off to give him a bit of protection, but he still ends up dying. No way to survive that one. So very nice pickup there from Bait, able to respond to get a nice couple of kills. But still, just like, look how close PuckChamp's cores are towards where Watson is. I feel like Bait's cores all had like the best start possible, right? Even the Void Spirit was doing fantastically up top. And yet, just after the laning phase finishes, they just don't have anything. I'm so confused. It looks like even the Void Spirit's going for the... I don't know, I thought he was going for like a Sanj Kaya then as well. No, it does have that Yule Scepter. Going to have to initiate onto the Storm. We're talking about initiating with the Storms. He jumped it forward. Also the Ravage. It connects onto 3. Dendi is gone immediately. And it looks like his 2 supports are going to follow him to the grave. The defensive disruption on himself from SA. It only gives him a couple of extra seconds of life. Gatsy's trying away. He's trying to... But he's not going to work. Triple kill gets found for Young Chi. Melee's even tilting Dendi with the tips. And now... back down in towards the mid. They're going to try and take down this tower before any sort of response can be mounted from Bait. I mean, the Void is self to the side, ready to go for, I don't know, a deny perhaps? They all disengage? What? Okay, I guess they just didn't want to commit for it. SA and Dendi just TP back into the area. I suppose they didn't have Ravage, they don't have Finger, so they don't end up risking it for a not very tasty biscuit. Wouldn't be worth. The BKB is actually going to be the first main item online for Dendi, which is going to help out a lot. Even the illusion from the Venge tanking that demonic purge. Looks like maybe B8 may want to try and take down this tier 2 if possible. And this should be able... Actually, there is actually a glyph for PuckChamp if they want to just pop it to keep the tower alive. Meanwhile, Melee's as well as Young G taking the tier 1 in the mid. Jesus Christ. Sneezy, breezy. Watch it. TP from Watson. Doesn't end up getting the grab onto anyone. But actually, talk about getting the grab. The Void Spirit's actually found the grab here onto Melee. So he counters that as TP. Ducalis is there. Goes with the swap back to get the tide to safety. But it doesn't matter. The Void wants to get that big tasty tide. And he guesses the wrong direction. He's juked out between the trees. They did actually ping it a couple of times. But they just give up the chase. No one's going to end up finding him. Watson actually finds Ducalis. He does have the God Strength if he wants to pop it just to get the kill into the Void. And yeah, he will. The Void, the Vendor, sorry. He will find that one. Just about. Melee's still just hiding himself in the trees. He probably needs to start cutting some creep waves after. Otherwise, this is just a humongous waste of time. Mind you, he doesn't have a TP, so he has no way to actually stop it. Actually, he's going to get the kill onto Sven's Ko here because the ward got the spot. Or is he? Yeah, okay. Blink daggers forwards. They get the grab. They realize exactly where the tide is. And they know that he has his TP is still be on cooldown if he had one. So maybe they might actually try coming over here and finding this kill. They just saw him through that little gap. No, he's going to successfully make it out. Maybe the long last gets his TP delivered. Meanwhile, Crit. I think he's probably got... Yeah, he's got enough for his Manta just after this Minotaur.
There is little hope for Dire's
And then he's going straight in for the Skadi next as well. To give him a decent amount of survivability. It looks like PuckChamp though. They're after something. This 3-man smoke into the mid. Just going to maybe bait out Crit pushing into this tier 1 tower. Mayors blinks forwards. Immediately Young G joins him and they take down SA. The lickety split. And immediately everyone else at the side of B8 just bolts. Watson charging up towards the top.
Middle tower.
The tier 1 falls as well. An extra kill. And they're not even done yet. They're still going to carry on the hunt, moving up towards this top. Obviously, they did see Dendi farming up, as well as the ward. They got this grab onto Gatsy. The long hit from Young G to secure the kill. Down goes the Undying. So Watson was actually able to juke himself through the trees as well to evade Astral. And DeCarlos put down his ward, but Watson actually spots that, so that one will get denied out pretty quickly, I assume. At least BKB is now online for Dendi. He has the opportunity to actually stay alive in these fights rather than just getting completely CC'd down. Like, as I was saying in the draft, there's just too many ways that PuckChamp can keep someone locked and just not allow him to move. Especially seeing how the Lion now has the Blink Dagger. So if he gets like the surprise initiation onto Dendi with the Hex, the BKB's not going to matter at all. He's never going to get out of the control.
Masterful mark.
Just Hex, Impale, Magic Missile, Ravage, Electric Vortex, maybe even the Stonegate, the Mystic Stake freeze eventually if Crit wants to build into it. He's going to actually build his main items first, get some damage online, get some more survivability, and then he might have the luxury of building into the item. Obviously, once upon a time, it was like first item phase because it was just so strong. The freeze was ridiculous and the bonus damage was good. They did get nerfed a bit, though. Watson and SA. Move down towards the bot, but it didn't matter. Crit and DeCarlos not going to show themselves. Easily able just to back off. The sun's just been completed up for the void. And Dendi is still in recovery mode. He's only level 11, bottom of all the cores. I'm still so confused about how this happened. I mean, sure, it makes sense after he's died a couple of times now, but even when he had 0 deaths, he had a fantastic lane. I'm just so confused about what happened to this man. I don't know. It's weird. Even still, PuckChamp, all 5 of them grouped up around the Medusa at the bot as she just slowly pressures into the tier 2. And it doesn't look like Beta really even bothered about trying to contest it. Instead, they're going to use this window of opportunity to take themselves into the Roche pit.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like they hit that ward once and then didn't bother. Are the creeps going to go for it? Okay, the creeps will finish it off. Seemed weird. At least now they do have Aegis into the hands of Watson. I thought maybe they might have given it over towards the Void or Dendi, to be honest. I guess they just want to give the security to the one player on their team that actually has some net worth. All the others are miles behind. Watson's definitely progressing nicely. Got Blink queued up next. I wonder what then he's going to go in for. Is there anything you can really use this Oblivion Staff and turn that into? I can't remember. What actually... you're probably going for the Bloodthorn, I imagine. Maid Slayer could be alright. Nah, actually, it's not worth it. It's only really the Storm that's pumping out a ton of magical damage as well as the Lion, but you don't really care about that too much.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looks like maybe Bait want to try and make something happen. They're going for this 5-man spoke. Dendi leading the charge. Actually, Watson just shows himself there with the smoke immediately. Wants to carry on farming up. Well, Melez, though, he is the one that gets caught. The Golem is blocking it. He can't get the Ether Remnant laid down. It will just get taken out. It allows Melez to get the small stuff down to low ground. But the Void is keeping chase. And I think it's just a matter of time before this Tide dies. This guy is so goddamn tanky, though. This is going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, they will find him now in the trees. No escape. They do find something at least. It was still that clutch Mod Golem, man. All the protection in the world. Melez with a random tip onto Dendi. Don't even know what that one's about. I mean, Melez has been tipping a lot of people this game. He's already tipped the SD a few times. A couple of times now onto Dendi as well. He's just dishing out the hate, man. Hateful man.
Dire's top tower is
Maybe
under
Bait can actually take down their first tier 2 of the game, though. And then they're not. They all decide to back out. I mean, the Tide has just respawned. Still got his Ravage online. So it does make sense not to try and make that play. Especially with the other 3 members of PuckChamp with the smoke moving into their own jungle. But the Void's already vacated the area. Oh, I think they just get the spot onto him there with the Invis. Jump forwards. They get the Hex initiation from Astral, but they decide to disengage. They just didn't have any more information to play with. But even the Void now pulls back Astral into it. The rest of B8 coming into the re-engage. He didn't pop the BKB. And also the Ravage comes out. There's so much stun lockdown. And he's just still stunned in forever. Young G just picks off the Shadow Demon off to the side. Watson can't do anything. He still hasn't used his BKB. He's just not interested in doing it at all. Now he will finally go for the stun onto the Medusa, pulling it off to the side. Watson, he just didn't use anything. They will find the kill onto Crit at least. It costs the buyback of the Undying as well as the death onto the Shadow Demon. But it actually ends up panning up not too badly for PuckChamp. Which is really surprising. Like, Watson, just the discipline to not use God Strength or BKB in that whole situation was very interesting. I mean, I suppose after all of the stuns had already been used, like after he got completely CC'd down, there wasn't any point using the BKB after that. But I'm very surprised he didn't pop God Strength. Yeah, it was interesting. But hey, I mean, I can't really say too much. The fight ended up working out for him in the end. They found Crit, only losing supports. And they should be able to take down this tier 2 at last.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He still has the Aegis. I suppose, yeah, he was just...
Tower has
He had the Aegis, right? I mean, it always feels bad if you pop your BKB, you pop your God Strength, and then you die, and then you respawn with the Aegis, and you have absolutely nothing. So maybe that was his thinking, but he just wasn't really dying fast enough for that to work. I understand if you can get, like, you pretty much get burst down immediately, then don't do it, sure. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll stop harping on about it. Astral, though. He gets caught. Dual Scepter. All the control. Down he goes. Meanwhile, the rest of Bait on the hunt. Ulticalis, he manages to get the 4-star out. He's whipping himself. Run faster. Oh, with the tombstone, they get the vision. Nicely played. Allows Dendy just to blink straight on top. Okay, so they find another couple of kills there on the board. Dendy finally getting a bit of return tipping. And now they're going to try and pressure into the tier 2 in the mid lane as well. So it's actually not going too badly for Bait now. I mean, it is still a slight goal advantage for PuckChamp. But it's just ever so slightly starting to come back into B8's favour. And especially once this tower gets killed, it will jump up a little bit more. So what's now going to be the game plan from PuckChamp? They've got all their ultimates left to play with. They've got Scardy online for Crit. I don't think there's anything that they need to wait around for. So yeah, they are going to go for an immediate smoke play yet again. Crit not caring about smokes though. Obviously wants to kill anything in sight to carry on ramping up his own farm. Any sort of inefficiency is bad. And then maybe going to be the target here. Gets hexed up. Young G actually jumps over towards the Void Spirit, but he couldn't get the control fast enough. Dendy though, he will get taken down. Actually still alive. Not for long though. He eventually does still die. Astral barely got a sliver of HP. The Void Spirit just trying to crawl away. Watson just whacks him once and takes him down. Gatsy just trying to run away melee. It's on his own. The Illusion's doing tons of damage. Watson comes in with the final hit onto Ducalis, takes him down. And now Watson just 1v1 in Crit. There's nothing he can do to survive this. His mana pool just is not high enough to keep him alive through the onslaught of damage. And once again, they actually come out on top. And now, running straight down the mid, they want to try and pressure onto this high ground if they can. Basically 50 seconds with no buyback for this Medusa. They have got the glyph available, and God Strength has now just run out. They don't even need to pop the glyph, I think. Just the zip alone from Young G just annihilating the creep wave. Okay, the glyph will force them back. So Bait not going to be able to get any significant objective after that little skirmish. But even still, it's just each one of these fights is just bringing the game closer and closer back into their favor. And now they just have a less than 1k gold lead for the first time in a very long time. Potentially Roche up in 35 seconds as well. As I'm sure that's now going to be the next main objective for both of these two teams to play around. I'm still kind of unsure about how, but that long zip from Young G onto the Void Spirit, he silenced him, and yet still the Void Spirit got the Astral Step off. I didn't quite understand how that worked, but it's weird. Young G almost got his axe online now. And then it's just going to be even further AoE lockdown for the side of PuckChamp. You'll have Ravage into like some big AoE electric vortex. Lines it all up for an impale from the Lion. It'll just be really tremendous combo. Roshan not up for another minute and a half. Watson though, man is impatient. He wants it up. He wants it now. You're going to have to wait though. I don't think you can afford to just sit here. You are in position 1. Maybe you could chuck Gatsy in there or something and you won't really mind too much. That's what I'm talking about. The Void gets gone on here from Young G as well as Astral. There is going to be a disruption to disjoin it all. Young G left the pit for a second and then he comes back and he's like, oh, screw this. I'm going to go hit creeps. Someone else can wait around. Titan Sliver. That's pretty damn strong. What? Is that better than Paladin Swords? I don't know. I think it actually is better than the Paladin Sword. Like that status resistance plus with the S and Y. All like the instant initiation from the side of PuckChamp be a lot less significant. But actually, the swap back there onto the Void Spirit. The rest of the follow-up, the disruption save yet again from SA. It's going to destroy it all. Immediately, Watson on top of the venge eviscerates them in a second. Crit pops the Stone Gaze. It forces the rest of the members of Bait away. But then immediately they re-engage with the nice dodge there with the Manta Style. Allows Crit to avoid the Viper Strike. Now the re-engagement. Out comes the Ravage. The BKB was there from Denny to avoid it. And also the pull onto the Sven. He's getting really low. He's still going to try and turn around. Stand his ground. Astro ends up falling. Melee's quickly gets taken down from Watson. Now Crit. He's all alone yet again. Godlike spree for him. There was a buyback comes out from the Lion. But he was not going to get there anywhere near fast enough. And now Roshan literally just respawns. And now it's going to be opportunity for Bait to take this objective and start swinging this game completely on its head. I mean, it already has. They've managed to take 3 successful team fights in a row now. It just seems like PuckChamp are, I don't know, they're just always engaged on the wrong people. They keep going for like the Void Spirit or something without dealing with the Shadow Demon. This Shadow Demon is always in the right place at the right time to get the disruption off and allow the rest of the team to go for a big re-engagement play. Like, you've got to find that guy first. You've got to take him out. Which is pretty much what Young G's job should be. He should literally just zip straight on top of the Shadow Demon and burst him as fast as possible. I mean, he might be built... I think it's probably worth him building into a BKB next as well. Because, I mean, all it will actually take is one Yule Scepter Ether Remnant from the Void, and Young G will just die. There's not really any way he can survive that. I mean, he's pretty tanky. He's got 2.6k HP, 13 armor. So, he could survive a little bit, but that means absolutely nothing when you've got a position 1 like a Sven just smacking into your face. He is also still just got the Titan Sliver in his backpack. He himself is a little bit unsure about the Paladin Sword or not. Mind you, I think the lifesteal actually kept him alive in that last fight, so yeah, just keep that one. No reason to swap it out just yet.
Are scanning for enemies.
Well, PuckChamp really starting to feel the pressure now. Now 7k gold behind. Gonna have to start always playing as a team. They can't really afford to split up and start hemorrhaging kills for nothing. Gotta be super cautious how they take all their next fights. So Watson just going to clear up the 2 bottom towers. Tier 1 gone. Tier 2 short to follow. Unless PuckChamp want to try and defend it, but I can't imagine why they would. So it looks like they will try and take their own Tier 1 on the opposite side of the map. Even the playing field a little bit. Actually, the rest of Bait have actually gone for their own smoke play. They're going to head towards the top. Actually, TP coming in from Watson. Melee's immediately goes to the Blink Dagger out, but the jump forward is there from the Void. They got the grab. break onto the Kraken shell. There's no way Melez can survive that one. Another death for him. He did actually just finish up his Aghanims though, so he will have that coming into the next team fight, which may help out the damage output of the Medusa quite considerably, with like the AoE armor reduction in conjunction with the split shot. Would be a pretty nice combo. Jump falls there from Dendi. Gets one hit onto Astral. Cancels his Blink Dagger. The poison's so goddamn annoying to play up against. Also, the zombies just chasing after him. He's trying to get away. He can't make it. Blink about to come off cooldown, but he gets caught. He ends up dying. Oh, the illusion summons Sven. You're meant to be hitting this, isn't you? Where are you going? I might send it up to the top. Fair enough. Disregard me, illusions. Keep running your way. Be who you want to be. Now, the line, gone for a minute, no buyback. It looks like high ground is in the eyes of Bait right now. Another 10 seconds, and the tide will be up with Ravage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Watson just sits himself on top of the high ground, just slowly beating into the tower. I mean, it's pretty easy for Young G to just kill the creep wave every single time like that, without having to risk his own life, for sure. And that probably is going to be alone enough to keep Bait at bay. Bait at bay. Funny. I mean, they've still got Aegis intact, right? On Watson. Yeah, still got that for at least another minute yet. So I guess they're just waiting for their opening. Seeing if anyone on the side of PuckChamp steps out of position. Maybe they can net a free kill. But it doesn't look like PuckChamp are actually going to offer that opportunity to anybody. Just all proper turtling inside of their base. Don't want to give any opportunity for Bait to just nab a free kill. And just further their lead. And Crit is trying to build into the Daedalus next. It'll definitely help out with his damage output. Especially, like I said, with the AoE gush that'll be coming out from the tides. It'll help out a lot. Meanwhile, what is Watson finishing? He's got his Satanic online and going in for the Swift Blink next, just for that increased bit of attack speed with the bonus damage from the God Strength. Probably just delete anybody that gets hit by that stun. Because I mean, already without God Strength popped, he's hitting for like 380. It's absolutely disgusting. Well, the Aegis has now just finished. And just like that, PuckChamp, they knew the timing. They've immediately gone for the smoke play outside their base now. I'm going to see if they can loop around from their own jungle and walk into anybody. But the entirety of Bait are sat in their own triangle right now. Bait with their smoke of their own. They're going to start moving into the jungle. Oh, the Ether Remnant! It actually gets the grab onto the line. He was just scouting out the rune. Easiest grab of his life. And now the re-engagement. Dendi tries to go for the grab there onto Crit, but the disruption destroyed out a little bit. Miscommunication with the team. And Crit just goes for the BKB TP out. Ducalis not going to be so fortunate. And Young G and Melez just have to go opposite directions to try and get themselves out of there. So, I mean, it's just the two supports that end up dying for that. And God Strength was used. Oh, actually, Melez, he didn't even end up escaping. He's still over here. But they did him. He got the blink. He's going for the CB. He's going to make it. Oh, 0.2 seconds away. He was so close to making it out of there. He ends up dying as well. Still this Beyond God Strike lead for Watson. 11-0 and 8. He's pretty much doing exactly what Young G did in the previous match. Just completely bossing it right now. But he's now like pretty much 5,000 gold over the top of the Medusa. Who is 700 gold away from her Daedalus. But even still, Sven, what's that? 3.5, 4.5. He's only like 200 gold away from having his Swift Blink online. And then the damage output of this Sven's just going to skyrocket even further. And it's just going to become such a chore from PuckChamp to actually survive that initial burst. Like, The Venge is just going to have to be so on these swaps to save anybody who gets caught out. Like, if he's not careful, I think Young G on the Storm will probably just get 2 hit. Maybe not 2 hit. He's pretty tanky. Maybe like 3 or 4 hit. But even still, it will be pretty damn scary. Well, he even just found the leveler as well on the side of Bait. That increased attack speed. Did they just give it over towards Watson? He's got it sat in his pocket. I wouldn't be too surprised if he just main inventoried this right now. That plus 50 attack speed with the Swift Blink attack speed, it would be like a machine gun. Who would be able to survive that? I don't think even Melez would be able to survive long against that sort of onslaught. Be vicious as hell. He is trying to build his own refresher orb, but he's still quite a fair chunk of gold away. Still got about another 4,000 gold to go. But Daedalus now finished off a crit. So maybe they might feel a little bit more comfortable taking the next fight, but I mean, it's a very small comfort. I think maybe Beta just waiting for the next Roche, which is a ridiculously short cooldown. It's already going to be up in 5 seconds. And it is up. Does this Ether Remnant actually get the spot? I don't think it did. Watson, though, he just walks straight in there. He finds it. Yeah, they're pinging out like, yeah, your Ether Remnant does nothing, mate. You got to like put it really, really close, but not too close, then it just gets cancelled. Really awkward. But even still, Aegis, Cheese, Ags, all going to be going to the hands of Bait. I guess they just give the Ags over to Watson, right? Just give him that further bit of extra maneuverability. Or do they? Oh no, they're actually going to give it over towards SA, so now we can have the 3 charges of the Demonic Purge with the constant Dispel taking effect. Is that constant Dispel going to be particularly strong? Wow, 4 bounty runes. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of gold. 400 gold per player. Just bumped up their lead by another 2,000 gold. Fair enough. Strong is strong.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now what is Bait waiting for? I wouldn't be surprised if they just ran down mid to end the game right now. Like he does. Watson's got another. He's got an AC queued up next, but he doesn't even have the inventory slot to use it. I think he is just gonna. Yeah, he's just gonna finish up his Swift Blink, which I think he can buy whilst also still holding buyback just in case he actually needs it. Oh, talking about that, then he ends up actually getting caught down, and PuckChamp they find a free kill. But actually, the voice bit jump before he wants to try and get a return kill at least onto the Lion, but has to try and disengage. The long tip there from Young G with the silence. They got the pullback onto the Void, and he's just going to end up dying here as well. He might be able to get his Dissimulate off. Now the Hex is there. Astral spamming that W. And just like that, PuckChamp finding 2 kills to level the playing field a little bit. Not going to make a massive dent in the net worth lead that Bait have actually built up, but it's definitely put the brakes on their game for at least another like 1.5 minutes until the other Bait members respawn. I mean, maybe PuckChamp can try and take some sort of objective this amount of time, like push down the mid, take the tier 2 perhaps. Actually, I think Crit was pinging out the high ground. Can they go high ground? I don't think they can. It's a little bit too risky. They will decide to fall back. They could definitely try and push in for this tier 2 for sure. Random spider crawling up my arm. Go away, spider. Go to the window. There you go, bugger off. I was like, what's that on my arm? Yeah, tier 2, get in, Siege Storm. I don't think there's going to be anything that Bait really want to do to keep that alive. They've already done it full. I don't think PuckChamp are going to press for anything more. They're actually going to ping out the tier 1 at the top, which Young G just 2 hits because it was almost dead anyway. They've got a big creep wave also coming at the top, but by the time that creep wave makes its way towards the tier 2 tower to get rid of the backdoor protection, everyone on the side of Bait's going to be alive again. Now Young G actually has the BKB queued up. He has enough money to buy it outright now, but he won't actually have enough for buyback afterwards, which I think is kind of essential at this stage of the game because one sort of misstep and you will just get deleted by the Sven, for sure. So you always got to play with that little contingency plan in mind. Yep. 4 members of Bait, though, with this little smoke up on their own. They're going to let the Voids just push up towards the top and deal with the creep waves coming in. With the rest of them, They're on the hunt. They're going to run into 3 members of PuckChamp right now. The smoke is going to break there onto Watson, but he's really finds Astral, but he gets the Blink Dagger back just in the nick of time. Melez, though, he does fall staff backwards, but it doesn't look like Bait really want to involve too badly. The swap back comes out there from Tukalis to safety. It looks like Tukalis will still die for this. Also, the Void in deep. Melez gets pretty damn low, but they still just couldn't quite find up the control. The Void does pull back Astral, but he still needs some help to do the damage. He's carrying on charging. Another stun there onto Astral. He's dealing a lot of damage to him, but he's still all alone right now. But he has enough damage to actually kill on his own. No, Watson actually jumping in yet again. Look at the damage. Crit. He's just disappearing. He's gone. He does have a buyback. He may be forced to do that here. And the backdoor protection, I think they out-damaged it. Just hit it, Watson. They definitely out-damaged that backdoor protection. I don't know why they went back. He could have easily destroyed that building in a second. Young G with the big zip. Just to kill the creep wave. But he didn't kill it all. Now with the backdoor protection about to come down, Watson can keep on beating into these buildings. It may just very well force the buyback from the Medusa. Yes, it does, as well as the Lion. They want to try and re-engage here. But it looks like Bait are going to get themselves out there without being forced into another fight. The Aegis is actually about to wear off in 20 seconds. They'll give Watson all of his mana back. But PuckChamp, they don't want to just let these buybacks go to waste. They're on the hunt for anything. Anything at all. They're going to charge into the Radiant jungle. It looks like Dendi will be the first one that they both bump into there. They get the spot onto him, but he immediately Blink Daggers back. Bait just know. They just realize that they're going to be coming after him. Oh, the Wave of Terror, it gets the sight onto Dendi as well as the follow-up control. The Viper's down yet again. And everyone else on the side of Bait just sits themselves up on top of this high ground. It looks like PuckChamp maybe thinking about going high ground themselves. I don't know, a little bit too skeptical about doing that. I just don't know quite where everyone on the side of Bait is. Watson. He is invis right now. Maybe he wants to make a move on someone. He does have Godstrike available. He immediately jumps straight on top of the Storm with the control. Down he goes. Absolutely melted. And he's gone for 90 with no buyback. He actually bought out for the BKB. Actually, he's got his buyback in 50 gold. So at least he'll be able to regenerate it if Bait even went for some sort of play themselves. But without Dendi up, it's a little bit too risky. Because they would be fighting into Ravage. And with God Strength on cooldown. There is actually enough money for Watson to buy AC right now. Again, he won't have enough for buyback. But this man is still yet to die a single time. 14, 0, and 8 right now. Just so far ahead. Like pretty much everyone on the side of Bait's got their buyback available as well. So now they do. It's just 3 members of PuckChamp that don't. And it's all because they're on cooldown. At least 5 more minutes until the first one's up. It's just Young G as well as Melez that can even afford to die in the next engagement. I wouldn't be too surprised if Watson does just buy out this AC. Actually, no, he just upgraded to bots. So what's he going to actually take out of his inventory to make space for the AC then? I don't think there is anything. Yeah, what does he actually build right now? What does he get rid of here?
Double damage.
I mean, really, you could sort of just get rid of the bots because you've got the movement speed bonus from the Sanjin Yasha as well as the Swift Blink, which is pretty good. There's double damage on Watson. He actually gets spotted because of this Sentry Ward here. It looks like PuckChamp are in position to go for some sort of re-engagement if they want to. They're trying to find the right target, though. Watson charging yet again, but he's under vision. So immediately, PuckChamp realises he's there. Another jump forward. The Ravage gets committed, but the BKB was already popped from Watson. It's a complete failure of engagement. Immediately, the Void Spirits into the backflanks, gets the triple silence off. There's no save. Carlos has to trade his life away to keep Melez alive. And now Young G just zipping in and out. He's trying to find the grab onto anyone, but the Sven is already disengaged. He's in absolute disarray right now. And Crit, he's been abandoned. He's just Astral here. Young G has the TP out. He's got no mana. But Crit, though, manages to get the BKB off, trying to go for the TP out. The damage from Watson, it's not enough. He actually manages to survive. Even Lion gets the TP out. So after all of that, it's just the Venge that ends up dying there for PuckChamp. He doesn't have a buyback. But even still, it's just the position 5, and I don't think that's going to be enough space for Bait to try and go up to high ground, especially with God's Strength about to wear off. Then Watson did decide to go for the Moonshard, and he keeps swapping out his items. He doesn't know what he's building. Just buys a bajillion mangoes, because why the hell not? You don't want to be waiting around for the clarities to get your mana back. Just want that quick injection. Also, Shiva's just finished up there for the Void as well. SA jumping forwards. He's got the banish there onto the Medusa. Is it going to follow up damage? A long zip in from the side, but it doesn't matter. Ashley had already dropped down. The BKB gets popped from Young G. They're trying to stand his ground. Watson, he's finally come here to join the rest of the team, but his ult's still on cooldown for another 25 seconds. He just gets hit by the end of that stone gauge as well. Crit is trying to get himself away, but he's not fast enough. Oh, the stun from the Dissimulate. It grabs Melis and he jumps in. Finally, he had to pop his Ravage, but it's too late. Watson with the cleave takes them both down. The Medusa's gone for 2 minutes. I don't think there's anything PuckChamp could do to stop this. The Tide buys back, but they don't. They've got Glyph. It might delay the inevitable here, but it's still 5 versus 3. Godstrength just come back off the Young G, nice usage there with the Vortex, but no Ravage to actually follow up or damage. And it looks like Young G will just get immediately burst down, all the overwhelming damage. Watson even finds him on the retreat. It's now down to a 2 versus 5, and I think this is just GG. There's nothing PuckChamp left to do. And Bait, they've actually managed to bring themselves back. Where I say that, they're jumping in yet again. A second Ravage. They're doing it, maybe. I don't think they are. There's just not enough damage between these 2 heroes at all. And finally, GG is called. Bait taking game number 2 and taking this one all the way to the 3rd game. Like PuckChamp, they were starting to take the lead, and they were actually gaining a nice advantage. But Bait just all of a sudden came into their own. And just the amount of damage that Watson was able to pump out, they just could not deal with it. And yeah, easily able to come out on top of that one. So GG to them, taking this to game number 3, which will be coming up pretty soon. If you guys have enjoyed this game and my cast, please follow my Twitch, Twitter, my YouTube. Any help I get, I thoroughly appreciate. But yeah, game number 2. Obviously, I've got to wait for the Dota TV delay. And yeah, it'll be here any minute. So I'll see you then.